Hey guys, it's Boban and I'm back with another tutorial. Now I've just finished working on the key art for a little game called Zooika, and the dev, Vex, has kindly allowed me to use this as an example for a tutorial. And what I want to show you how to paint is this ripple that I have here that distorts everything behind it. All of these assets are layered, so I can remove certain ones like this. We've got the star effect separate, we've got the pig separate, we've got the ripple in the middle, and then we've got the other pig like so. I'm gonna leave the stars and this pig off so that you can see what I'm doing, and I will show you the layers that are involved in this effect. Firstly, more for just the composition and lighting, I have a shadow from the pig that will be above this one. On top of that, I have a basic shape for the ripple that I want, and you can see those are just concentric circles, and some of the ones closer to the edge start to dissipate and split as they become looser. That was my guide for the shape. On top of that, I have this layer, which is where I've softened out what I had there already. So I've got, that's where the light's going to catch, and then a little bit more transparency in the middle of those shapes. So if you look at the shape that I'm trying to describe, it is going up, over, down, and back up like this. And that shape continues all the way around on these concentric ripples, so I would be able to note it out like this. So that's the shape that I'm trying to describe. I will keep those notations to show you later. On top, I have these smaller specular highlights that just sit on top of the peaks of those little mountains that we have in the ripples. And my layers are laid out like this so that this is something that is movable and reusable in different contexts. So because it's transparent, I can move it anywhere. The dev wanted this so that they can create capsule art in different sizes and move those assets around. But to have one that works in this overall composition and has this ripple interact specifically with the background that's behind it, I need to have that ripple effect and warp what is visible behind it. So underneath all of these layers, my shine is on the top, this layer is in the middle, and my shadow is underneath. Just in between those, I have my layer that warps everything. And you could probably achieve this with some sort of layer mode or warping the layer around if you were to flatten what was underneath. Personally, I like to paint it because it gives you a lot more control over what you're doing and the line weight, I would say, because I have line art behind here that I'm warping, but you also have tighter control over the weight of the shapes and how they taper out and roll around at the sides. So if I show you this, by grabbing the layer and just moving it off to the side, you can see that a lot of the work is already done by what's behind there, and this is just little patches of paint that I'm adding on to warp around what is already there. I can also show you this by removing the background, and like I say, this is only going to work in situ with the colours that you have behind already. I'm going to show you how I do this by removing the one that I've already done, and we will start again from what I have. So I noted down before that we want to show this shape, so the way I'm going to do that is to just start eyedropping what's already behind there, and then pulling them around to follow these wobbly curves that you already have. So I like to alternate them as well, so I'll have this one that pulls out from the pig and this one that pulls in from the sky. And then I've also got my line art back here that would wobble around with that edge, and like I say, I can pull those shapes around. I like to make it so that they sometimes have little concentric circles of their own, just to run those shapes all the way through, just to exaggerate those shapes even more. Now, if you have a gradient on top, you do have to be careful of eyedropping these because you will end up with slightly different colors if that gradient is affecting it, which is where it can be helpful to have a looser layer like this guide one that I mentioned. You can use this and then turn the layer on and off as you're going so that you have a shape. I'm gonna leave this one on, which is not really advisable, but I will leave it on so that you can see what I'm up to. So it pretty much is just like grabbing what is underneath, pulling it around. Let's offset that one in the same way that we did above and pull this around. You can see some of the colors aren't quite picking up because I'm eyedropping it like so. It might take a few tries to get used to this because it can be quite difficult to balance out the shapes and get them to behave and warp in the way that you want, and it's probably going to look wrong at first and will make you want to undo it. But let me just show you the layer again. This is a single layer, just a normal layer underneath that I'm painting on like this. Pulling those colors around. You can see already how it's starting to have that effect again. And I just want to do it enough that it's gonna show up quite consistently the way that I want. I should do some warping around of the clouds up here too. Like I say, I quite enjoy bringing in little round shapes like this to mimic what we've already got. Outlining them can look nice if you've already got some line art on the go. Pulling that around. I want to do it around this eye as well, because that looks a bit strange if I don't pull it around, I think. Let's make sure to pull it up into these shadows up here as well, and not forget that piece. I'm trying to pull it out even where I don't have that gradient. I want to pull some more of this yellow around down here as well so that it can reflect down this way, bounce around a little bit. And yeah, there we go. I tried to be a bit more aggressive with the way it was warping around the edge of the pig on this one because that is the most obvious place. There is the other version as well where it's a bit softer. You can see I've tapered some of the lines a bit more on that, which I could do on this one if I wanted to. Pull these around to swing with those ripples, but you can work on this as much or as little as you want to make it stronger or lighter, but it's really not that much effort to do. It's just a very, very small bit of overpainting using what you already have there and maybe a few little layers on the top just to give it that volume. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope that helped. If it did, give us a like, share if you think it'll help someone else, and subscribe for new videos when I have them. There will be a link to the Steam page for Zooika down in the description, along with my Patreon where this was posted early, and my commission information if you would like me to do something for you. Thanks for watching. Goodbye!